As a college student, I'm sure that most of us at one point in our lives had a couple of drinks and then decide that you are still okay to take your keys and drive your car. After all, how likely is that a car accident is going to happen to me, right? I didn't even have a lot to drink. Well, those were the things that passed through my head a few years ago when I was leaving a bar with a friend. I wasn't driving, but I didn't stop my friend from driving either. He was about to drop me at my home when he fell asleep and we crashed straight into a light pole. I was not wearing a seatbelt, I usually do, but after a few beers, I didn't bother to clicking it. I smashed the windshield head first, cutting my forehead and almost getting unconscious. I'm lucky I did not die that day, and I feel it is my responsibility to let you know how dangerous it is to be in a car with a drunk driver. According to the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, or CDC, drunk driving related deaths has dropped 31% since 1980. A CDC official said these numbers have shown that substantial agency listed several factors which contributed to the dramatic decline in drunk driving deaths. These factors included increasing legal drinking age, improved law enforcement, increased public awareness of the problems associated with drinking driving. During the 1980s, the minimum legal drinking age in many states was 18. However, drunk driving rates among young people aged between 18 to 24 were especially high. Therefore, the federal government urged states to raise their drinking age. All 50 states now have a legal drinking age of 21. The problem of drinking and driving is still worse among young people. More than half of all impaired drinking killed in a crash are under age 30. In addition, the DUI arrest rate is highest among drivers aged between 18 and 29. Research has shown that alcohol affects driving skills in many different ways. Drinking distorts a driver's vision and affects his or her judgment. Not surprisingly, studies have shown that drivers who have been drinking are far more likely to have an accident than a sober driver. Currently, the blood alcohol concentration limit is 0.08% in people over 21, and zero tolerance laws for drivers younger than 21 years old in all states. In addition, to step up law enforcement and tougher punishments, many communities have organized citizen groups to fight drunk driving. One of the largest of these groups is Mothers Against Driving, or MADT. Groups such as Mothers Against Drunk Driving have been credited with raising public awareness of the problems that drunk driving can cause. Because of this new awareness, there is now more social pressure against drinking and driving. Becky Brown, national president of MADD, said she is very encouraged that her group has been effective. Brown adds, MADD proved that we can change the direction that the whole country is headed. According to the CDC, every day, almost 30 people in the United States died in a motor vehicle crash that involved an alcohol-impaired driver. This amounts to one death every 48 minutes. A few examples of these strategies are: we all have heard of the MTV's Jackass celebrity Ryan Dunn, who was drunk and speeding up to 140 miles per hour when he crashed and caught fire on the Pennsylvania highway. He and his companion were killed in the accident. The autopsy showed that his blood alcohol concentration was 0.196%, which is more than twice than the legal. As well, this past New Year's Eve, despite the efforts of the California Highway Patrol, or CHP, to prevent drunk driving, there were still 5 fatalities. The California Highway Patrol made 58 arrests for drunk driving on freeways in the county from 6 p.m. Friday through 11:59 p.m. Statewide, the California Highway Patrol logged 1,181 drunken driving arrests that weekend, according to the San Diego Union Tribune. And just today, an early morning accident leads to a double fatality around 12:30 a.m. A man was changing a tire on the side of the road on International 10 eastbound when an alleged drunk driver rear-ended the car. The man's fiancée was pronounced dead at the scene. There was also a little girl in the car. She was taken to the University Hospital, but later died after 4 a.m. The 26-year-old driver will possibly be charged with a manslaughter and DUI, according to Fox News. The CDC gives us 3 easy tips to prevent drunk driving fatalities. Number 1, if you have been drinking, do not drive. Take a taxi home or call a friend or a relative. Number 2, if you see someone who is too drunk to drive, don't let them. And number 3, if you are celebrating in a group, select a designated driver at the beginning of the evening. This is a person who agrees not to drink any alcohol. At the end of each evening, the designated driver makes sure each person in the group gets home safely. It is very important to keep this in mind the next time you go out and drink, because beside of your life, you're putting in risk life of innocent people who's not their fault if you decide to drink and drive. So if you don't care of your own sake, think of the people that you could hurt.